Hello, everybody, and welcome. You've been seeing a lot of us today, but this time we are live. What's going on, everybody? We got a lot of Week 15 NFL action to talk about, so I want to get this live with you guys, with the fans, the people. What's up, everybody? AJ here, along with Tyler, as always. And this is kind of a new show because college football is winding down, and we've got the DGen Bowl series going on. But this here is Pricks with Picks.
Featuring your two favorite pricks on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. So, looking at the NFL slate, obviously at this point in time, not knowing what's going on with a lot of those teams playing on Tuesday, we are going to just forget those exist for now because it just seems like it would be a waste of time to sit here and talk about those games this early. Anyway.
The only thing I would like to say about Tuesday's games is if Gardner Minshew is starting for the Philadelphia Eagles, I am taking the Philadelphia Eagles minus whatever the spread is.
Well, you take Gardner Minshew no matter what.
Yes.
But I do believe Jalen Hurts is supposed to start.
I hope not. I hope they're looking at this game like, we'll give it to Jalen Hurts, a little bit extra time off with all the COVID stuff going on in Washington. But we'll talk about that early next.
Listed as questionable, but I've seen someone talk already about Jalen Hurts was supposed to get the start. But anyway, we're going to do primetime games, and we'll give you a couple of our better bets we think we have for the weekend. And primetime starts not too far from now. 8:20 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. The New England Patriots will travel to Lucas Oil Stadium and take on the Indianapolis Colts. That game's looking at about 2.5 right now in favor of the Colts. The over-under 45.5.
Yes, and I did a little bit of research that you like to do and saw where the money's at, and it pretty much looks dead even from what I could see.
PFF is telling me 70% of the cash on Indy, 51% of the tickets. And I looked at that earlier, actually, and I think it was in the 60s in favor of Indy. I got another one I can check. We'll see.
It was my initial thought on this game, and this is me going back to getting burned so bad in that Georgia-Alabama game, is do you really bet against Bill Belichick when he's an underdog with the way that they've been playing?
Yeah, that was because I love the Colts. I bet them pretty much all season, almost every time. And this one just seems to be
Yeah. I mean, the Colts have put together games. I mean, they had the Bucs on the ropes, and then they have 5 turnovers in that game that ultimately led to a touchdown in the final minute to seal the win for Tampa. But the Colts are that team that you don't want to see get that wild card spot and see them in the first round of the playoffs.
No. Colts have been very tough and come along a lot this season. Going from, Carson Wentz somehow sprains 2 ankles at the same time and hurts his shoulder. I mean, we did not know what to think of that team at the start of the year. But now they, hey, man, I'm a Colts believer at this point. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute destroyer of men.
Wisconsin Badger legend, Jonathan Taylor. But I've had no second thoughts on this as soon as I saw the Patriots were underdogs. They've been treating me so well during this stretch that they've been on. I've pretty much bet on them every week over the last 6 to 8 weeks, and I've hit with them, and I'm not coming off of it. I will place the Patriots money line bet tonight. They're currently sitting at plus 120. I don't see it steering much away from that, so I'm okay sitting in to see if I can get a little bit of extra juice out of it. However, if it drops a little bit, I'm still not going to be scared.
Yeah, I got another source says 66% of the public money on the Colts.
Good.
Tickets are pretty even, and that makes me think. I kind of thought everyone would have our same first thought that how do you bet against Bill Belichick at this point?
And he's coming off a bye.
So unless he has some historically bad numbers off a bye, sort of like Aaron Rodgers does that I don't know about.
I wouldn't imagine that he does, or that would be posted all over the world, right?
Yeah, we all know how he is against rookie quarterbacks. You think that would be another stat we'd have constantly every time they come off the bye week. No, I'm with you there, especially with the money and where it's at. Hell yeah. I'm all over the Patriots. And I don't like that because, again, I've enjoyed backing the Indianapolis Colts, but that's tough. That's tough. How are these guys for COVID?
I haven't seen much. I know Kyle Duggar was on the COVID list for that game against Buffalo, but I see he is cleared and back. He's a huge piece to that defense. It's another diamond in the rough that Belichick finds in the draft.
Yeah. Zaire Franklin is the only one I see as of a couple hours ago for the Colts. Yep. Pat's all the way. I hate that, but let's do it. All right, so one primetime game out of the way. Both going with the New England Patriots as the dog. Weird thing to say this year. It feels like, as they've been one of the hottest teams in football, them in Green Bay. So let's move on to the main slate of Sunday. And give me, doesn't matter what time it is, just give me one of your plays.
I like Buffalo in a bounce back game. I don't think Carolina is good at all. I saw the numbers all the way up to 13. This is a perfect spot for the Bills to get right. 2 tough losses against the Pats and Bucks where they were competitive in it and had opportunities to win it. But Carolina being as down as they are, Buffalo back at home, I think Josh Allen and company is going to come out and just wipe the floor with the Panthers on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, they just lost to the Falcons.
Yeah.
The Falcons are bad. And then the Dolphins. Dolphins dog-walked them.
Yeah, so if you're getting dog-walked by a team like Miami, and Miami's coming into form, like as I like to say, but this just screams bounce-back game where Buffalo's just going to keep their starters in for 60 minutes, keep the foot down, and remind everybody who they are after a couple game skid.
Yeah. Double-digit favorites have done very well this year. And I think one of the ones that stood out to me the most that I was going to go the opposite originally and then decided to flip is going to be another double-digit game, the Arizona Cardinals minus 12.5 at Detroit. So go for it.
I was going to say, I have no argument there. Another bounce-back type game coming off of a tough Monday night loss.
Pretty much the same angle, yeah.
Yeah, they literally have to. I mean, the Rams are a game out of tying them for the division lead. I don't know what the divisional record is. I'm assuming Arizona's got that one, but superior team, inferior team. I know DeAndre Hopkins is out, which means Kyler's going to have to get reps with some other folks to get comfortable in there for the postseason. I think this is a great bounce back game for Kyler and company.
Yeah. And we talked last week too. Cardinals on the road. Undefeated, straight up, undefeated against the spread.
Yep.
So, Cardinals all the way. I'm going to take a prop in that game, too. TJ Hawkinson's out. He's one of the COVID guys for the Lions. Jared Goff's over-under passing prop is 212. Arizona has the 4th best pass defense in the league. Jared Goff has only hit on his passing prop 4 times this year. And, again, I'll go back to the fact, even if you didn't know any of those stats, Jared Goff is fucking terrible. So, you don't want statistical analysis? Just take that then. Yeah, TJ Hawkins is a big loss for them because they don't have much on that offense. And I think Swift is out too still.
Yeah, so it's just going to be Goff pinning down Amon-Ra saying
it's just Jared Goff running around with his head cut off, looking like, doing Jared Goff things. What else you got for Sunday?
Dude, this is a tough slate with all this COVID. Even before the COVID stuff, looking at it with just there's some big lines that I really like. There isn't a whole lot. I do like the Packers to cover a touchdown at Baltimore. Their secondary is decimated. Aaron Rodgers is playing like Aaron Rodgers. Packers offense is humming. I mean, you saw what they did in the second half against the Bears, so I feel like have a better defense than the Ravens. Lamar's out. This is a very winnable game for the Packers, and I think they do win comfortably.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they've only not covered one time without Aaron Rodgers, 2 times the whole year.
Yeah.
Best team in the league against the spread. Why would you not ride that? I get like Baltimore. And look, we don't even know if Lamar Jackson's playing.
Yeah. And even if he was,
even if he was, I don't care. All that meant is I probably get this game at -6.
Yep.
Instead of -7. So, and I know they were talking about that Huntley kid and how they have faith in him. Well, everyone's got faith in their backup. We all thought Mike White was going to be great after he played one good game, and look where that took us. So I don't buy that bullshit. 43.5 is the over under. I do believe the Ravens are a massive under team. At least they have been the last few weeks because those games have all been low scoring as shit.
And they've just been ugly. I mean, the over might have hit last week. I mean, it was 46 total? I'm assuming.
Yeah, over hit last week. The over-under was 44. Under against the Steelers, 2019. Under against the Browns, again, 16-10. Under against the Bears, of course. Under with the Dolphins. Over with the Vikings. So 2 out of their last 6. I just don't think 40. I'm not going to take it. I won't touch it. But no, the Ravens have struggled to beat the shittiest teams in the NFC North. They beat the Lions by 2, the Vikings by 3, the Bears by 3, and they are not anywhere near on the same level as Green Bay.
No.
So no. Packers turnover differential +12 to the Ravens -9, 28th in the NFL for the Ravens. I think there's a lot of money to be made here, too, because I think you have to think props. Aaron Rodgers, 270.5. Andy Dalton threw up 260 on this secondary. The Ravens got the 31st worst pass defense in the NFL. Yeah, I'm going to take over 270. I think he should hit that. And Rodgers isn't a big over on his pass props. I think he's 6 for 6. But this is one of those games where he could very easily hit that. Devontae's is 90.5. If I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers over 270, I think I got to take Devontae over 90.
Yep.
The only thing that scares me about this game, and it will scare me always, just because 89% of the money and the tickets are all on Green Bay.
Whew.
So very few people betting on the Ravens. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the public had a good week last week, so that's the only scary thing about it. But this is everything that tells me about watching the Packers as much as we have, and it's just that time of year. They're going to continue humming. I don't see them taking any steps backwards.
I really don't either. The last few seasons when they've gone to the NFC Championship game and lost, I feel like this team is remarkably better, if that makes sense.
Especially on defense.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I think remarkably better, because the defense is just Rasul Douglas is a fucking beast.
Yeah,
I love that guy. I voted for him for the Pro Bowl,
as everybody should.
Yeah, why would you not? That guy, he's amazing. Stokes hopefully will come along. Obviously, who was it the other week? Was just he said Eric Stokes on the broadcast was going to be like the greatest of all time, but he's all right. I mean, they're only going to get better too. Bakhtiari practiced this week. I don't think he's playing. Jerry, all coming back.
Yep.
And they're going to get healthy at the right time. And this is going to be a very, very dangerous team. All right. So both on the Packers minus the laying the points. Rodgers over, Devontae over. I would take probably Devontae anytime. There's a nice little parlay that can be made out of that there.
It's the same gamer there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with all that juice too, you don't even need to take the Pack -7. Just take a money line and juice it up a little bit.
Yeah. So that was also one of mine plays for the Sunday early slate or the day slate. So you get to go again because you took mine.
I will probably regret this, but I'm taking over 40 in the Houston Texans Jacksonville Jaguar game. I think 40 is, I mean, we talked about a 24-22 game. That's over. I think both defenses are susceptible to giving up some points, and both offenses aren't the best. I think Jacksonville's obviously going to come out fired up. Urban just wasn't a good fit for,
anybody in the NFL.
So I think they're going to come out with a little bit of juice. I think the Texans are going to come out with a little bit of juice too, because it's a winnable game for them. They've already beat that team once this season. They don't want to, lose. They don't want to lose to them and have that in the division. So I think some points are going to be scored. 40 is way low for an NFL game. So just looking at that, give me over 40 in the worst matchup, maybe of the season.
So what was hilarious was this game was at 3. Urban got fired, and it jumped to 5. It's awesome. I mean, you can't make that shit up. I love looking. So when I look at the little homepage here on PFF, it's always got the QB comparisons. And when I look at the battle between Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence, Davis Mills with a clean pocket, passer rating of 87. Trevor Lawrence, 82. Ooh. With a clean pocket. So that's you just sitting back there reading defenses and throwing the football. Under pressure, Trevor Lawrence drops to an abysmal 37.4.
I think a prop to look at, too, would be James Robinson's prop. I know there's been a lot of talk about him not getting the football much with Urban Meyer, so he will probably get the ball a lot. And we've mentioned it a few times that I feel like he's the best player on their offense. Somebody's got to get the football is the term I always use with that team. So I expect him to have a big day as well.
That's a good angle on that. His over, what I'm seeing here, is 102.
Total or rushing?
Right. Oh, that was total. So I'm sorry. Whew, good thing you caught me there.
Rushing,
Where is his rush yards? It might not be up. Oh, 82.5.
I'd actually take both of them.
Yeah, if you're going to give him 80 yards rushing.
Yeah, he's going to grab a few balls.
Yeah, why not?
Catch a few passes, I should say.
What do you think about Davis Mills over 3.5 rushing yards?
Yeah, there's got to be at least one scramble that'll get him there.
Ooh, Doug Mills. I always call him Doug. Dave Mills under for his passing yards is 222. He has hit that 4 of the 7 games he started, and Jacksonville is awful. Of course, so are they. Maybe, I don't know. I might play that actually.
2 bad teams, over in points, over in props. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look, we are talking about a Davis Mills. God damn it, Doug Mills, who put up numbers on the New England Patriots defense.
Yes, he did.
312 and 3 TDs.
That's when the portrait flipped for the Pats too. After that game, they've just been crushing souls.
It really has. It's been like they've been now just kind of embarrassing people. Okay, so where's my turn? I'm just gonna keep taking double-digit favorites, probably. Dallas Cowboys minus 11.5 in New York.
Yep, beatdown spot for them. Take control of the division. They got to keep up in the playoff race because you could look at it. I mean, one of these teams, Arizona's got a few tough games ahead. I don't think Tampa's going to slip much, but they're playing for the 3 seed, not the division anymore.
Right. And let's look at the matchup of Mike Glennon. I mean, he's starting a football game. Why would you ever pick that team? And then I'm not the biggest Dak Prescott believer or supporter, but he's certainly a hell of a lot better than Mike Glennon. Saquon has done. If they didn't make a big deal out of him a year ago, watching him this year, you would think he was just some bum.
Yeah,
he hasn't hit over 70 rushing yards in a single game that he's played this year. He's had 0 impact on any game that he's played outside of the win they had against New Orleans. He had like 74 rushing yards or receiving yards in that game. I mean, God, that's just such an abysmal team. So, yeah, double-digit favorites done well. I will take them. Cowboys, after that Raiders loss, won 2 in a row. So, they're getting hot again. I like Dallas here a lot. Double-digit favorite. Always a good angle, it seems, this year. So, that's my second play. Where else are you going early games?
Early game?
Saturday game or Sunday game, sorry.
I've talked myself back and forth on this one.
Okay.
I see it was at a pick'em, and now I see Pittsburgh -2. I'm going to take the Titans +2. I was debating money line. However, Tennessee is a far superior team right now, and I will. If you're going to give me 2 points with them, I'm going to take 2 points with them. They're still fighting for playoff positioning as well. They're still right up there, so they're playing for some. I know Pittsburgh's fighting for their life, but they don't have an offensive line. They just don't have much. The defense hasn't showed out like they should normally, and I feel like Tennessee's just going to control this game completely. Might be a tighter finish, and that's why I'm going to take the 2, but I'll take the Titans +2 and see if it's just going to give me an extra half point or an extra point before we place that in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the 3 seed in the AFC right now against a team who's 11th in the playoff standings, and Pittsburgh's favored. That line it's either really fishy and something's up there, or it's just the easiest money in the world, because I think Tennessee just destroys them.
Yeah, something's off there, but I just, from what I've seen this season and just the inconsistencies and how down Pittsburgh has played.
I mean, talking about a team who tied the Lions.
Yeah.
and then a team who was the 1 seed in the AFC like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think they're putting a lot of stock in that game where the Pats just crushed them, but they still moved the ball on the Pats in that game. You know what I mean? It was just turnovers. So they clean up the turnovers, go on the road, they win that game, stay in that 1 seed hunt.
I mean, you're talking about a team too who knows. I'm sure they're aware. They're very banged up. AJ Brown's still out, I think. Julio's back.
Yep.
Or he's been back for like a week or 2, but they're still been playing very well at times. And I think got it together last week against Jacksonville, which was kind of an easy, like, let's get this, let's steer the ship straight and get things straightened out, because we're on the verge of making the playoffs and possibly getting Derrick Henry back as we go into that playoff run. We're all of a sudden we become a very, very dangerous team. So I think they know that. I think it's just, let's hold on and win some ball games, get to the playoffs, get the best running back in football for the last 10 years back, and make a run at this thing. Yeah, that line is just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it almost makes me not want to play it because I'm scared.
Well, the thing is about these fishy or rat lines, whatever term we want to use, one is really right and one is really wrong. So it's literally just a pick 'em at the end of the day. But crazy things happen. I just don't see a Mike Vrabel coach team just letting it down. Like we've seen them lose to the Jets and just wild stuff like that. But it's December. They're playing for something. They've gotten settled now without Derrick Henry and have their offense. They manage the game through the offense and play defense. And I feel like it's exactly how it's going to go on Sunday. So I may have talked myself into the Titans money line, but we'll go back and forth until tomorrow morning.
Yeah. 58% of the money on Tennessee right now. Also, I like that. Or people aren't jumping at it because they know it's fishy. One of the two. Something's going on here, and it scares me. So I might just stay away from the spread and just take Tennessee money line, like you said. I don't know if I'll go big. I don't get that. All right. Anyway, weird line, but you're taking the Titans. I probably will once I actually place my bets tomorrow. So the other game I'm going to take is I almost talked about the Monday night game.
Games, plural.
Games, yeah. I don't know where my notes were. Got any more? Because I can't. I'm trying to think what I had. I don't think I wrote it down.
Yeah, it was good to me earlier this season. It was good to me last season. Tom Brady does not play well against the Saints. So I need a little bit more time to digest this because Sean Payton is out. 11 points is a lot in a divisional game. For whatever reason, New Orleans gets up against Tampa, and that defense plays very well against that Bucs offense. So
primetime game, bro. Primetime games are separate.
Yeah, primetime Tom.
No, we're doing earlier day games.
Sunday
primetime game.
Sorry, you said Monday night. It threw me off.
Get with the fucking program, bro.
I got nothing else that I like.
Okay.
In the day
Right,
game.
so maybe I shouldn't have cut you off and just
Yeah.
this is the last one I was going to talk about, and I don't feel super confident in it. This is the last one I'll talk about for the day games. I thought about taking Miami, but then I thought I'd be betting on Miami, and I didn't want to do that.
I mean, I was on the right side of Carolina with them, and they've just been wrecking opposing quarterbacks, just wrecking. And Zach Wilson does not bring any confidence to the table for me. So I would not be opposed to you taking that, but 10 points is a lot for the team.
For Miami, yes.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson is just garbage. But I'll hold off on taking that one. I've taken this team 2 weeks in a row. And 2 weeks in a row, they have let me down hardcore. And that, you know what I'm talking about?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, it is. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. Third time's a charm, though. I might ruin their season by betting on them every week from here on out because they seem to not want to win when I want to bet on them. I don't think Denver's anything great, really. Last week came out, beat the living dog shit out of the Lions in it was probably a very emotional game for the whole organization. And, RIP. And I also bet the Lions stupidly in that one. And the moment they walked out onto the field with 10 people, I was like, oh, I made a massive mistake. I knew that was never going to, they were going to get smoked.
I can confirm that was the first message I got for the afternoon game.
This was a mistake. But realistically, looking at the Broncos, though, I mean, they have not had, I mean, they had a hot start against 3 really bad teams, and they played some better teams and really got exposed. And then they've kind of been average ever since then. They've shown up in a couple games, like at Dallas, Chiefs, no, Chargers, no, Eagles, no. Oh, Chargers, yes, right. And then they had that game last week. I think coming off of that was a big – a lot went into that game. I expect a letdown after that. And I think the Bengals are good. I don't know. It confuses me what the Cincinnati Bengals are at this point.
Both teams I can't get a pulse on, so I'm out.
Well, I don't think they'll lose 3 in a row. That's the only thing I'm going with here, and I think this is the spot. I know Denver's defense has been playing tough actually since Von Miller left, which is kind of funny. 77% of the public money is on Denver.
Ooh, so you like it even more.
So that's why. Well, the tickets aren't with it though either. Most of the tickets are on Cincinnati, so most of the public is as stupid as I am and wants to take that. Yeah, I'm. They can't lose 3 in a row. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals, getting points. I always bet the Bengals as a favorite. I think so. This is different, right? And the Packers cover. So if you look at all the other games, Atlanta covers, Cincinnati covers. That's my afternoon formula. Yep,
you find your one that covers, and then the other ones are dogs, usually outright, which is the crazy thing. But
so I'm gonna ride with the Bengals one more time. They'll lose, and then I won't bet them the following week, and then that's when they'll cover. So that's how that's gonna play out. So let's pick it back up with the Saints Tampa.
So I gave my case for the Saints, but then again, Tom Brady always likes to kick me. He has not played well in primetime over the last couple of seasons, especially in Tampa, outside of the Giants game this season, which he didn't blow the brakes off anybody. They just were a superior team. I mean, everybody's beating the brakes off the Giants. Saints defense usually matches up well, but Tom Brady's probably sitting there thinking about the pick 6 he threw earlier this season and the massively shit down his leg game that he had against them at home last season. I will probably stay away from it, but I am intrigued by the Saints plus 11 from the factors that I've talked about. Does not play well against the Saints defense. It's a divisional game with a team getting a bunch of points. New Orleans has proven that they can wreck quarterbacks. So it's going to take a little time for me to want to pick a side on this game, but if I would, it would be New Orleans if I do play it at all.
So I've taken all these double-digit favorites so far, and I wanted to make the case that, well, it's the Saints, but this is Taysom Hill. But I guess, they won when Trevor Siemian came in. So that argument kind of, I guess, isn't as reassuring. Is it the Saints are good against Tom Brady, or is Sean Payton good against Tom Brady? Because Sean Payton's not going to be there.
Right. But Dennis Allen is calling the defense, and, he's stepping up to the head coaching duties in this game. I don't know if he's still calling the defense. I would assume that he is, but going to have the other factors that you got to worry about as a head coach on his plate now. So there's a lot to digest with this one.
Yeah, especially after, you beat the Jets. You should beat the Jets. Everyone beats the Jets, but you lost 5 straight before that.
Yeah. After
you beat the Bucs and then just went on this awful, awful, awful slide. I don't know. Man, you got a team that's 1 for 5 in their last 5 games. Then you got a team that's come in and won 4 in a row. They beat the Colts, beat the Bills. Looks very good, getting hot at the right time. Defense is finally playing games like we talked about before. I'm not scared of the Buccaneers until that happens. And I think it's starting to happen.
At the wrong time for us Packers fans.
Yeah, wrong time for, the NFL.
Yeah, and the anti-Tom Brady folks in the world.
Mm-hmm. That being said, all the money's on the Saints.
Wow.
Did I say that? Or, no, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Money is split down the middle. I was looking at the wrong game. Looking at the Packers game. Money's down the middle. So the line, we'll see if it moved. What did this open at? This opened at 11.
I think it was 10, and then it went to 11 when Sean Payton was out.
I see 11. Tell me on the 13th. It was at 11. It might have dipped down to like 10.5 or something, but yeah, the Sean Payton thing bugs me. It really does. How are these teams on? Well, Tampa doesn't have anybody out for COVID.
Nope, they live in Florida, so that doesn't.
Yeah, there is no such thing as COVID in Florida.
Texas and Florida, COVID's not a thing, so I think those teams have 0 to worry about.
Yeah, and the Saints have no one but Sean Payton, right?
Correct.
I think he's the only. How does that happen? This might be like wait till right before the game and play my gut. But I really, really want to play Tampa. Really, really do. All right, well, I won't sit here and let you guys watch me try to decide that right now on something I won't actually take until the time comes. So let's move on to our Monday night doubleheader. The rescheduled game of the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Cleveland, Ohio. They were once loading onto a plane to play this game. They got off the plane. Now they're going to have to get back on the plane and go down to Cleveland, the armpit of America, and play the armpit of the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland favored by 3 somehow.
Yeah, and that's where I'm looking at it like unbiased off the table. If you just take the 2 teams out of it, if you're giving me an NFL team that's been able to practice for the last week against a team that hasn't been able to practice for the last week, I don't know if I'm going to take the Raiders +3 or if I'm going to take them on the money line. Probably end up taking them on the money line just from the factor that I talked about. But these are still professional football players at the end of the day. I know the Raiders are on that huge second half letdown like they've had the last couple of seasons. But there's got to be some pride at some point in time, and I think this is a game where they can rise up and get a victory.
And the interesting thing about this, too, is you got to kind of play it on – this line is at 3 now. And this is with all those guys, with 20 people on COVID protocol, including your starting quarterback and your backup quarterback. The only quarterback on that roster was signed on Friday.
Kyle Atule or whatever.
So if you like the Raiders, I think you got to take it now, right? Because if Baker comes back, and a lot of those guys come back, we're going to see that line move the opposite direction by quite a bit, maybe.
Well, I would say wait if you're taking the Raiders, because if Baker comes back and those guys are in, Browns are probably going to get a few more points.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. You're right.
Yeah.
So that being said, I like the Raiders regardless. I'll probably take them on the money line anyway.
Yep.
You can give me all 20 of those guys for the Browns back, and I'm going to take it. And the reason this reminds me an awful lot of last year when the Titans had all those problems and they had to reschedule that game with Pittsburgh. And then Pittsburgh came in, it was like 47-41 or something. On the Tuesday night, I think it was. So and I've seen a lot of stuff on social media about the Raiders not being happy about this whole situation
at all.
Like calling the NFL, be like, hey, we're about to get on this plane. Should we do it or not? NFL's like, well, hold on. Some guys get on the plane, bags are packed. You went through security, did all this bullshit. Then the NFL calls you back and they're like, hey, hold on. How do you feel about Cleveland on a Tuesday?
No.
Not happy about this. So I think they go in there fired up and ready to make a statement. I know Waller's out, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't like that, but I just think that team as a whole. I mean, look, you've been you do your typical Raiders thing where you can't play football for the second half of the season, and that's exactly what they've done since the bye. They're 1-5. They've covered the only time in that one game. So realistically, you should have no reason whatsoever to believe that the Raiders will cover the spread. Oh, wow. That can't be right.
That's a good
yeah. Oh, wow. So according to one of my few public betting Where's the Money apps, according to Action Network, 2% of the public tickets are on the Raiders.
Wow.
Wait for it. 72% of the money is on the Raiders.
Somebody just throw a bunch of parlays out there and throw Cleveland on them? I don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, something was wrong. 81% of the money is on the Raiders.
Okay.
60% of the public bets are on the Raiders. What a glitch there. I'm like, there's no way that's real. Did someone just put like $500 million down on them?
Maybe. You see those tickets come through every now and again.
Yeah, shit. Mattress Mac decided to just put everything he had on that. No, regardless, I would take the Raiders. As bad as they do play in the second half of the season, they do they'll win a couple. But yeah, this situation, it just reminds me so eerily of Titans and Steelers last year. So I'm going to take the Raiders going to Cleveland and beating the doors down, making a statement like, hey, we did not like this.
At all.
And, I mean, look, yeah, too. You're talking about a team who's in virtual meetings right now, preparing for a football game, and then you've got the other team who's able to actually practice. Yeah. That's a tough sell on the Browns. All right, Raiders all the way. I think we're agreeing on a lot of shit, and that's not good.
No, it's not.
Well, we'll see. You've got one more left that we'll talk about. The second half of our Monday night double header. The battle of the two worst coaches in the NFL between Mike Zimmer and Matt Nagy. Vikings come in at 6-7, 7-6 against the spread. They travel to Soldier Field to play the Bears. Bears are 4-9 overall. 4-9 against the spread.
I don't like either team, obviously. I hope they both lose, but I know that's impossible. But the Minnesota Vikings are playing for something, and I feel like the Minnesota Viking offense is criminally underrated. I think they win this game and cover the spread. I would have no fear placing a bet on Minnesota -6 in this one.
All right. Finally,
you disagree.
I'm going to play the Chicago Bears plus the 6 points. And As stupid as that sounds, you talk about the head coaching battle. Obviously, I'm taking the worst coach, I think, between the two of them. I'm taking the worst quarterback, Justin Fields, going against Kirk Cousins. Taking the worst team, realistically, between the two. Like, I don't think the Bears are anywhere near what the Vikings are. And it's not like the Vikings are anything. But this is how I'm going to make my case and how I'm going to sell it to myself. Letdown game, or comeback game, get right game against the Steelers last week. And man, Steelers aren't an impressive team. However, they are favored against the Titans somehow. So I think that's where all your energy went. You got that win. You say they're playing. I don't even know if the Vikings know they're playing for anything. It doesn't seem. I don't know if they care because it just seems like that whole organization is just stupid. Like they probably don't even. They don't. They still probably think there's 16 weeks left in the season. They probably don't know they got to play the Bears again at the end of the year. They probably think it ends with Green Bay on January 2nd. The Bears, however, have actually been playing better. Had that long losing streak. Got the win against the Lions, who beat the Vikings, by the way. Just pointing that out there. Because the Lions don't win a lot, in case you haven't been around. Then they went into, had Arizona come to town. They lost by 11. But there were times where they were in that game and they made a case for themselves. I mean, they didn't play that bad. Better than what they had. Then they played the Packers and were leading at halftime. Packers made a lot of mistakes early.
Yes.
I get that. But they went into Lambeau and played pretty well for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Aaron Rodgers does. And if you think about it, if you don't have that call on what's his name who ran out of bounds on the punt call, they get the ball back at the 15-yard line or whatever it was with a chance to make a game out of that. So I think they're weirdly playing a lot better than they have. And look, all their games have been pretty close. Maybe not the final score, but they played teams very close from the Niners, Steelers, Ravens, Cardinals, and then Packers. I mean, those were both double-digit losses, but could have been a lot closer. So I think they're weirdly playing better. I think Fields is getting into more of a rhythm. Their offensive line is terrible, but I do believe Daniel Hunter's out. The Vikings got a few people out on the COVID list right now. Yeah, Daniel Hunter's out. Kyle Hinton's out. Madison's out. Not a lot to make me really make that case, but so it came down to me also. What did I have? I got my notes. I really had to talk myself into this. So I thought I don't even know where I'm going with those most of it. One thing the Bears do well is run the football. One thing the Vikings don't do at all is defend people who try to run the football. Bears are the best thing they have. They're 7th in the NFL in rushing. Vikings are 27th in the league in rush defense. Montgomery playing very well. Herbert's out on COVID, I believe. But that run offense is the only thing they got going for them. And who knows? I mean, they don't have a single coordinator, so it's all up Matt Nagy's shoulders. Oh, shit. I just remembered that.
Yep.
Bill Lazor's not going to be there. It's Matt Nagy calling the plays. So he's going to – oh, man. All right. Vikings -6.
Back to agreeing on things.
No, I just think it's one of those weird divisional games. It's the Vikings. It's the Bears. I would imagine most of the money's probably on Minnesota. So the Bears got to cover once, right, against somebody in the division. Big money coming on the Bears, though. 25% of the tickets and 45% of the money, or 43% of the money. So some big tickets coming in on the Bears. Just saying. And, of course, I'm going to take whatever Darnell Mooney's prop is when that comes out. It'll probably be like 30.
I was going to say, maybe it dropped after last week for you.
Yeah, 1 reception for 11 yards. And it was only 40 at that time. So it might be coming in like 33, and then he'll have that on one play in the first quarter and then not have another catch. I'll stick to my guns. Chicago runs it all over. whoever they're playing. The Vikings, enough to make that a close game. Keep it within 6. I'm probably not going to take the money line because they will find a way to lose if they do keep it close. They can neutralize Dalvin Cook. Big old Bob Quinn is having a hell of a stretch down here, as bad as the Bears have played. He's been a very huge highlight for them. He gets after Cousins, limits him a little bit, and Bears find a way to sneak in there and stay within 6, I think.
All right. Finally found a difference or a different play. We like that.
I was say, were we on everything together?
I don't know if we were on everything together, but we agreed everything. Like, we didn't try to talk each other out of a pick.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Well, how am I supposed to talk you out of taking the Giants, or how are you supposed to talk me out of taking the Panthers?
That's fair.
Like,
that's very fair. I think maybe next week, just send me one of your plays, and I'm just going to take the opposite and do it, and think of any argument I can against it.
Maybe we'll do that.
Doesn't happen. So the Panthers, they've lost 3 in a row. They lost 4 in a row earlier this year. Since 1977, the Panthers have never lost. Had 2 4-game losing streaks in the same season. So I made that up.
I was going to say, because I think the Panthers
they haven't been around since
in like 96.
but also since 77.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good plays there, I think. A lot of it seems too obvious to feel safe about anything in this COVID world that we now live in. Waddle being out was what made me not want to take the yeah. Yep, a lot of fucking players. 23 for the Washington football team. 23 for the Los Angeles Rams. 7 for Houston. You take Houston?
No, I took the over in that game. Is Brandon Cooks on the list?
No, Brandon Cooks is playing.
Okay. I'm still comfortable with that then.
Yeah. 20 for the Browns and their head coach. 13 for the Bears. But, I mean, the Bears, who's out on COVID for the Bears is no better or worse than whoever they'll bring up from the practice squad. Right. I think Eddie Jackson's on there, though. He was playing nickel for them last week, so now they're going to find a new player to play nickel. He shouldn't have been playing nickel in the first place is what I was trying to get at. So they'll put anybody there. All right, so that wraps that up. Keep a lookout. DGen Bowl series keeps popping out there. Got more editing to do on that tonight. We got a couple games coming up Monday, Tuesday for that, including the almighty UTSA Roadrunners. You don't even need to watch that one because you know who I'm going to take. And you know who you should take. So that should get 0 views because you don't need to know. You already know.
But that's a good preview for it because I've rode San Diego State quite a bit this year too, and they've treated me pretty well, other than when they played Utah State. But I didn't take them against Utah State. So
I remember that.
May have a good conversation to be had around that game come Tuesday.
I'm pretty pissed Jalen Hurts didn't get COVID. And I know that's a mean thing to say, but I just want to see Minshew play.
So do I.
I would think Philadelphia should want to too. Dude, he's 100% winning percentage this year.
Best in the league.
Yeah. So as of right now, did we heard anything about anybody who's had a negative COVID test on either of those squads?
I'm assuming the Washington football team will have some guys back. I mean, they just got hammered by it. So that'll probably be a day-to-day something to keep an eye on. I mean, that line got all the way up to the Eagles minus 13.5, and it's back to 5 or 5.5 now. That was crazy. If you jumped at the Eagles minus 13.5, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're watching it go back down.
I'm sure there's people out there who did too, because,
Yes.
The PFF quarterback comparison, it's got Jalen Hurts and it's just got nobody. It's just blank. Yeah, Washington plus 6. If Heineke's back, I'd take that. If he's not there, I'm not going to.
The only frustrating thing about that is that Fox put those games on at the exact same time.
Yeah, what the hell?
Why not put the Rams and Seahawks at 7:15 Pacific time or 10:15 Eastern? That way everybody gets to watch both games. There's no way Fox's primetime slate on Tuesday night would get more views than an NFL game.
Well, I think we had that last year. Didn't they have a game start at like 9:15 or something like that when that happened?
Yeah.
The other one at 6 something?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. It had to be a scheduling thing with Fox, or just throw one on the NFL Network. Everybody has access to that in 2021. Everybody.
Especially, too, it's Fox. These are both your games.
They're both divisional games in the NFC. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, they fucked that up. And that's a bit – I mean, you go from having 2 NFL games on one night, the amount of ratings that you'd get on that, as opposed to now you have 1.
But now we got to watch 911 or something like that instead after the games. I'm sure millions of people are going to tune into that.
Yeah, big old ratings drop there. Also, too, what game were we talking about today whose ratings just went through the roof?
Jackson State's?
Jackson State's getting killed.
Yeah, they are. I haven't been watching, but I saw the scores. Didn't we say that BYU was going to get a lot of looks? Or
BYU, because the game would have started already now, right?
Yeah,
no, or it'd be starting in about 30 minutes.
And that game's on ABC, which gets a lot of views.
Yeah. All right, let's. I got nothing else to do. I just kind of want to not go.
Shit. It already started, and I didn't get a chance to place the BYU bet. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Started 6 minutes ago.
Well, goddamn.
Well, dude, you knew we were going to be on here at least an hour.
I know. I must have looked at the time wrong. I hate it when I look at like my app and it has a time, and then I'm looking at schedules and it has a different time. It's all Eastern.
Yeah. Also, I might have been very wrong on Fresno. Even getting fucking Jake back.
Yeah. I thankfully got UTEP plus 13. So we're in a very good spot there, but it is college football. It is bowl season.
Got another half to play still.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that could happen.
All right. Well, keep an eye out for all of the DGen Bowl series. Good luck tomorrow and whatever the hell we're about to witness. And also Monday and Tuesday. We'll see what the hell happens between now and then, because it's going to be interesting.
It is. A lot of good stuff that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be the playoffs, shaping the playoff seedings. We got bowl games up the wazoo. It's going to be a very nice, it's about 10 or 11 day stretch for football fans.
Yeah, we got football every day.
Such a great feeling.
It's good. It's a good feeling. It's also bittersweet because that means it's about to end.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's like the football gods overload us for like 2 months, and they're like, all right, you're going to have to live with this because it's going to be gone for a while. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week.